And I will wait for my Facebook to settle down. Good morning, everyone, and good evening, wherever my other audience is joining in from. And how are you guys doing? I'm just waiting for my Facebook to load. Uh, this is my opening line, Reshma, all the time because my Facebook opens and starts echoing. Yeah, I just stopped it. I have to always stop it. So before I start, I just wanted to start this morning with a little song I wanted to share. Um, and let's see if I can share that song because it's a beautiful morning here. And before people,
don't forget the little things in life that make you happy. Yeah. Don't forget the little things in life that make you smile. Oh, cast your cares aside and think about the things that make you smile. Big white puffy clouds in a big blue sky, finding as many cloud pictures as you can find. Happy yellow flowers and a homemade pie. Oh, don't forget the happy little things.
so here is a little thing to start off with. I wanted to really sing it loudly, but I didn't know if the voice will go across. I was not singing, but the song is beautiful. It's longer. It's a 5-minute song, but it's just a reminder to all my moms to not to forget to celebrate themselves with little things that they do. And we have a very positive person joining us today. That's why I wanted to start in a different way with a little song about being happy with little things around us. Welcome, Reshma ji. This is a pleasure to have you here. And I mean, I had a beautiful conversation with her, and I'm really looking forward to this interview ahead. Reshma ji, please go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, your journey till here, and then we'll go ahead.
Thank you, Shikha. First of all, that song was lovely. It just lifted up the spirits of everybody who must have heard that song. And it actually says everything about all of us, I'm sure. Yeah, we do bring about happiness and smiles. That's what we do without us knowing that we do that. Yeah, first of all, thank you, Shikha, for giving me this opportunity. And I read the stories of the other moms that you have done, and it's an amazing journey. And it's so inspirational to hear them about their journeys, and you are doing an awesome job. It's going to be an inspiration to many around us. So about me, I'm Dr. Reshma. I'm a 48 years old mom. I have a single child who is 22, who is soon to be a doctor, who will be joining my noble profession. He's in the last year of MBBS studying in Mumbai. And about me, I am basically a gynecologist by profession, studied from one of the elite colleges of Mumbai, that is State GS Medical College and KEM Hospital. And after I did my gynecology, I got married and I started a new venture of my life. I shifted from a metro city like Mumbai to a smaller city called Kohlapur to pursue my dreams with my husband, to do rural practice, because that is what we realized was a need of the time to reach the masses. So we came to a new town unknown to us and we started our practice. Therein, my husband is a cancer surgeon. We realized that there is a need to actually give more of cancer treatment and make the facilities available at 2-tier cities, 3-tier cities. Because long back in 1999, these patients were not able to take treatment because they had to go to bigger cities. So we started a small venture out there in 1999, and which was a very difficult decision for me at that time, but which I took, was to give up my practice of of gynecology and join hands with my husband to start a cancer center over there. I'm specifically stressing on this because as a woman, this decision I think many people have, many women have to do in their lives, to give up a lot of things for a bigger picture, especially after they get married, maybe after they have a child. There are many decisions that you take in your life which you have never dreamt when you're studying or when you start your career. So that was one of the decisions which I took. And I'm happy that I took. Many might not be happy, many might, in people, it might not work out well. And then there's that thing in your mind. I think it is a guilt, or maybe it's some feeling in your mind that, oh, why did I do this? And then maybe it's too late for them to revert back their decision. But that is something I would really like to talk to Shikha in details later on about this thing, that this is a decision that many women in their primary age of career take for any reason. Most probably it is because of their husband's job or maybe anything else. But I was lucky, I took a decision, and now we have a huge cancer institute that we are running with me as an administrator in charge, as the executive director of that organization. And we are serving thousands and thousands of people. Basically, this decision of mine, the output is serving the people, is on the same direction as what I would have done as a doctor itself. But if I would have had to change this decision for some other major thing, which was not in lieu with my my profession or my aims, it would have been a little disastrous, I think.
Then I think everything, we have Francis here, we have Kirtana here, and Francis just said how brave of you to do that. Kirtana has just said such a refreshing music. Love both of us dancing. She was just loving that. So we will have more people joining in and commenting. But the thing is that, all the decisions that in life happen, at some point in time, it looks like as if we are getting torn apart between this or that. But eventually, it all falls in place because, I always tell people that a lot of clues are thrown on our way. It just depends on what we think is a clue that we should pick up and read. And then we start our path. And once we start, I think somebody like you have already, trusted it and picked up clues after clues and reached today with 1,000 beds of cancer, cancer patient beds in your center. And from a small decision, you've reached out to such a big decision and heading such a big cancer institute. That's commendable. And that's absolutely something to be celebrated, because that's what all of us moms also keep getting stuck at. Should we take it? Will it be worth it? Will it be worth it to do this? Will it help people? Will it not help people? But some of us can take that decision and pick up the clue, read it, and say, okay, it's tough. We are getting torn. We are totally down on our knees with this decision. But the heart is saying that this is the right thing to do. And then you keep moving forward. And that's what I was talking to you yesterday about, the celebration, about the fact that we all need to celebrate. Because as mothers, we are always torn apart. This or that. Should I do the family? Should I not do? Should I join the family? Should I not? Should I do this? Should I not? My child is left back home. Like just right now, we got delayed by this interview only because I was just like, my younger one was not settling in. I had to get him, settle him up, down. It took us 20-25 minutes just to settle him down because of his separation anxiety. So I would, and you asked me, should we postpone this? And I said, no, we will not. We might get delayed, but we won't postpone, because this is what I'm trying to say, that things will figure it all out without we getting torn apart, And that's the beautiful thing, that you, in spite of being torn to take this, your profession, which was looking very lucrative to you, and this thing which had not even started, but look at where this is reached. Look at how many people love you, how many people have showered only love for you, and so many blessings. So, you've moved, let's hear that story also. I think that story is beautiful. You were just telling me, because I'm a very visual person, of you standing at a bus stand and deciding that should.
Actually, it started with when we were just about to my husband was my boyfriend for 6 years before I got married. Like at the age of 18, I started going around with him. He was my senior, and he finished his onco surgery from Tata Memorial Hospital. And it was a time when we were about to start our journey. like we were to get married when some time, and it was all said that I should be doing my gynec practice and we'll be working somewhere. And at that time, there's a bus stop near Tata Memorial Hospital, and it was pouring very heavily. We both were standing for the rains, little to get down so that I can go back to my hostel, which was just across the road. So there we saw a lady. Can I be excused?
Yes, please, quickly. Yeah, of course.
It's-
That's okay.
So there we saw a lady who was preparing food. She had used 3 bricks to make a small chula, and had used some small sticks and some paper lying over there, and she had lit up the fire in that chula, and she was trying to make some food for somebody. She was a typical lady from from the villages of Maharashtra, the typical green sari, Nawari, we call it kashka, and she was trying to cook something. And I was really shocked, because at that, I was just 22, 23, and I was in that state of mind that, oh my God, I'm a doctor, and it's my integrity, it's my job to give health care to the whole world. It's a basic right to have health care. And I was wondering, oh my God, what could this be, that somebody has to cook food like this to give it to one of the patients? And then it turned out to be, she was a patient of oral cancer man, she was his wife, and that patient was operated my husband 2 days ago, and these patients have to be fed to the pipe for a few days. So she was from this part of Maharashtra, rural Maharashtra, where I come from right now, and she was making some liquid food for the patient to be fed. So that was a shocker to us, that this is the plight of healthcare for the rural population out here. And that at that crossroad, my husband was getting a fellowship in Tata itself. He was getting a job in US as well, because he's a very talented surgeon. But that there and there at that crossroad, I don't know what came over us, and it was my decision that no, we are going to the rurals, to the villages where people need us. So giving up all this lucrative job of Bombay and of US, we decided to start our journey in Kohlapur, which is a 3-tier city in Maharashtra. So that's how it started.
It's a very beautiful story and a very inspirational one. And of course, when I do these spontaneous interviews, and something came back to me, and what I loved about you, and I must share it with the audiences, when you started introducing yourself, I was like, so let's introduce you and everything. You introduced yourself with a lot of confidence, and I want to hear that thing again. That I was this girl from a very humble family. Let's hear those lines again. I was very intelligent. I was very, the way you said all that, I just loved that spirit, and I think you've carried it till today, and that is definitely something to be celebrated. So let's hear that out again to the audience.
Yeah.
Let's
So
introduce yourself.
yeah, so I belong to a middle class family. I have grown up in a chawl, and I'm from a nuclear family. But I was the second. I have an elder brother. I'm the second child. I was a very intelligent child. Like, I've always topped my class, and I'm a sportsman. I used to play basketball. I used to play for the YMCA team of Mumbai, and I used to feel that there is no end to what you can achieve in your life. It was like I never had any restrictions physically or mentally to anything that comes to you. I think it is that spirit which is very important for you to take across in your whole life, because never in my life I have felt that there's no solution to a problem. I think it all comes on how you are brought up as a child and what you give to your child also, because it's all written in the books that the children observe you and they learn from you more than what you teach them. So this is what I think I have learned watching my parents, because they both were working and they were trying to make ends meet, and I could see that there should be a challenge in your life all your life down, that keeps you on going on. You should never be satisfied. That satisfied feeling should not come. I'm not saying satisfied in a wrong way, but you should always feel, yes, there's more to do, there's more to come. So this is what I was grown up with, and this is what I accepted is as a, yes, this is what it is, which has helped us grow because there was innumerable problems when we came to a three-tier city, right from getting the right people, the attitude of the people, and everything. But because of maybe my nature of not settling down for something less than what I want, has maybe got me where I am.
This is beautiful, because I think everything comes from our core, and before doing that we have all our pillars here. Actually, I just realized in the comment we have Melanie, we have Francis, we have Kirtana, we have Kavita, who's our pillar, and we have Debbie. These five pillars, I must say, is supporting this whole movement, to bring the light here, to support me, totally trusting this whole book. So here's just a thank you to them
Hi,
for showing up.
everybody.
And just and if I'm looking out, I'm actually looking at the comments, so just don't worry, I'm actually looking at the comments when I'm listening to you. But to take it from here, what uh, what I was about to ask you was that when I heard, let's go back, like let's not hear Reshma today, who's an achieved, like she's already achieved everything. Let's talk about Reshma, who was this girl who always who is still introducing herself. I was intelligent, I was achiever, I was this, I was that. And I think that comes from your parenting for sure. So let's go a step back to your mother. Like, what is it that she did right to put this confidence? What do you think? Like, you've crossed the journey of a mother yourself. You've, of course, are much ahead. You're not the little girl. But what do you remember did she do right? How was she showing up that gave you this confidence that showing up is the only thing, and showing up positively is the only thing?
So can you repeat again? I couldn't get you.
I'm saying that let's go back and understand that this Reshma, who's an 18-year-old Reshma, who's so confident, who's achieving, who thinks she can do anything. How was her mother? How was her mother showing up every single day? What
Yeah.
do you remember of your mother showing up every single day, that this confidence has passed to you today, and that you're proud
My
of
mom is an amazing woman. And, now that I'm discussing her with you, I realize that I think I've got everything from her. Like, I never have given a thought about it so much, but she also has gone through a lot of hardships, and hers was a love marriage. She comes from a very affluent family, and she married my dad, who had just come from the village, and they met in the college. And the journey of hers from a good affluent family to start her own family with just maybe 3-4 utensils, and then staying in the chawl, and then she wanted everything that she wanted to be in me, probably. So right from day one, she had given us freedom for everything, like how you're taking care of your child. That is how she used to take care of me. She used to see to that we are on our own. When she used to do her work, she used to work. She was a teacher. So maybe the discipline, the urge to study, and maybe to accomplish and get what you want has come from her. And I remember when I was in my third standard, she had told me once that she missed her medicine seat just by 1 mark because of some technical hitches in the dissection that she was doing. So I got a message subtly in my mind that I should be a doctor to fulfill her wish. And in my fourth standard, when I got my first scholarship, I was asked by somebody, what do you want to be? It just came out of my, I want to be a doctor. And I think that thing started from there, that you should be a doctor, maybe to fulfill what your mom has not achieved. And she's really my role model, because I still see her worry for me, though like there's no need for that. But it's the mom thing that is there, which comes from them, which we learn. There's a thing, mom thing. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm referring to.
Of course, we all moms know that. Once you're a mom for rest
You're
of
a mom forever.
forever. And but the beautiful why I suddenly this question popped up, and I this is the first time I'm asking somebody, because I've actually met many mothers, but I saw a very confident 18-year-old in your conversation, even living till today, in spite of all ups and downs. And that work has to be done at a parenting level. Melanie is here, the parent expert, and Frances is a family expert. She will absolutely keep guys in the space of children. They will all agree to this, that like that's why I wanted to ask, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like this whole book is trying to figure out then what do we have to actually do right to keep showing up, to keep creating this. So the ripple effect that happens on our children happens the way it's happened with you. The confidence doesn't shatter. No matter what happens, the confidence doesn't shatter. Um, you can still think that you can achieve everything. And you know what? Like you just said that it was in my head at the grade three that she wanted to be a doctor, and it is so it's becoming very, very clear that our parents, our mothers, what they're doing, it comes down to us consciously, subconsciously. Every single programming is happening. And so for you, it was all positive. Vice versa. If we as moms do not stop this self negative talk, it is going to pass on and manifest itself in many ways in our children's lives in the future. Right. And that's why I stood up with this book. And I wanted like my children to never feel that I did catch myself. I'm guilty of catching myself to say that, since I have kids, my photography career is a little gone down. No, because I took a decision. I would keep giving explanations that, I really need to take care of them. I want to be with them, etc. But there was always at the back of the mind that, I wish I could also do what I was doing, because I was at the peak of my career when I had my first child. And then I realized when before this project that I can't do this. I cannot send this out in their lives by saying that they are the reason for my fall. They have to be my reason to rise. And that will bring them up even more to places that I can't even imagine. I think your mother never even imagined you would be heading a center like this if you just became like you would just be to be a doctor, right? And she would have been happy, but see what more you've created with this positive parenting.
So one more thing, what how your parents leave a mark on your back, on you, even if you don't realize it. When I had my child, I had a obstetric complication, and I had to get my uterus removed when I had my child. So I went through a lot of illness and a lot of problems after I delivered, and even my son was not well. He was having lactational failure. I had lactational failure, so he was on toffees, he used to fall ill. So when I came to stay with my in-laws after my delivery, till that time I was in the hostel, and when I came there was a cultural shock, to coming and staying in a conservative family and coming with a child who is sick and who I myself was not sick. So it was almost 2 years that I was not working. I was at home, and it was almost accepted by everybody around that I'll be at home, because that was a role that was nicely adjusted around me as a mother, me as a daughter-in-law, me as a wife of a working husband. And if at that moment that thing that was there in me, no, I have to step out, no, this is not what I'm meant to be, I think it would have just continued, because we ourselves are comfortable in the role of being a mother, and we think that, I think many women feel that it is unjust to leave a child home alone. No, let him grow a little bit. No, let him reach first standard. No, but it never ends. So women need to understand that being a mother is not an exclusive job. We are made in such a way that we can be a mother and a working woman and a good wife and good everything. I think it's just, that's why the universe has been made like that. We have been given the responsibility of being a mother, because that is not the only role that we can play alone. We can actually be a mother. So as you are doing right now, you're adjusting your time for your children as well as you're working. So this is, I don't know which class of women do you address, but I see so many rural women, they just get educated to get married. And once they are married, once they have child, they finish that is all their education plays, the role that the education plays. But that is a very wrong thing, because from a different angle, when I see wives of cancer patients, and if something goes wrong with that patient, if that woman is not self-empowered, I'm not saying self-empowered, it means she's doing a job, but she should be self-empowered mentally, that she should understand that, yes, I can do something for my family if my husband is no more. So that thing is to be there in your mind, which can come only with good parenting.
Yes.
It's what I really...
I feel it's also, I think situation in India, specifically talking about India, I think Melanie and Francis probably can put. I think rural women are still in charge, of their lives, because they hang their children and they go to farms and they work in the farms and they put their children aside. They work, their children are playing, they take the children. I mean, there's a friend of mine he used to just, he's no more. We lost him, unfortunately, just 2 years back. But he used to be very foresty kind of a guy. He was in the merchant navy, and he used to always tell me, what are you girls always crying about? Women in rural go, they deliver their children in the farm, they pack them up, and they get them back, and after 5 days they're back on work. So I think the really rural women actually are very like the empowered that you're talking about. They really know, because farming is what they do, right? Farming is their bread and butter, and they need to do it, and they know, and there is no excuse that I've had a child, so I can't go out. They're back on work, like 15 days, 20 days, they're back in work, they're in the fields, they're working. It's a step up, and where I think suddenly we get lost. And it's these small cities where suddenly I think everything I see has become more ancient, and women are feeling more, shut down with things. And I don't know why that reason. It just came to me because I'm a photographer and I really, really admire them. My God, in the tea gardens, the kids are sleeping behind, they're tied up. And I tried to do that, honestly, I'm telling you. When my first one was there, first of all, I just couldn't tie him around me. I just couldn't. I was just like, I can work in the kitchen with him. And I just couldn't tie him with the confidence, because I always lost that confidence. Second one, COVID hit, and we had no helps, of course. And he was 4 months old. Then I had this again thing, and I said, okay, let me just tie him again. So many rural women do it. I really get inspired by rural women a lot of times. I'm like, he's 4 months old, it's okay, I can still cook and I can still wash and I can still do it and I can teach him and he can be right here. I tried, but I again feel that that's the lack. Maybe I was not raised by a mother. I was raised by a father who really sheltered me with, a lot of stuff. So I feel that again, it comes down to your parenting. It comes down to your, what you are raised with. And I was not confident of carrying by tying. We have a beautiful mom here, Yamile. Like, she's in lives with this since he's 4 weeks old. She goes live, she breastfeeds her child during lives, she's training them, and she's doing all what she's doing. And she's just amazing. So I just think that that's why I'm trying to bring these 100 shades of moms, because honestly, even if I wanted, I couldn't tie that child and still work, right? And then leaving behind 4 months, this struggle of a nuclear family, a city. So I also feel it's a very city thing, that we feel that we can't do it. What will happen if children are left behind? And that's why we find our really rural Indians very, very strong. A lot of athletes are coming out. Even the girl athletes are coming out from the rural thing, because they are raised like that, So that's just like, I've just gone off topic, but I just thought that I think something gets a miss, and we all should. I'll figure it out. What's the miss? Maybe some down the lane. So let's talk about you as a mom. Let's talk about you as a mom, and the journey has been tough for you. You've already mentioned the journey has been tough, of choosing the cancer patient or choosing your child, leaving him behind, figuring it out, the whole mental ups and downs.
Yeah.
But you've been very positive through and through. So what's that about?
So the journey of being a mom itself started with a big twist in my life. As I told you, I had to get my uterus removed. That's usually associated like with losing your motherhood. So I went through a very bad postpartum patch where I almost died because of the cesarean section and its complications. So they celebrate my birthday on my birthday and as well as on my son's birthday, because it was new life to me. So my child was always special to me. Everybody's, but for me, he was the only child that I was going to have. So you know what it is. So it started with a lot of ups and downs, with a lot of health issues for both of us, which took us 2 years to settle down. I went through a lot of problems postpartum, and he also. But as he started growing, I experienced so many things which I had never experienced. I think every mom goes through that. But there are some things that, like, you never know unless you become a mom, like he, I don't know what that feeling is, but if he is ill, even you are ill. He is happy, you are happy. I mean, that is, I don't know how that connects, especially when you start experiencing those feelings for the first time. So that those were the awesome days where I was at home with him and I was sharing everything with him. But then came a time then when I realized that no, he has to be away now. The thing that bond has to little, get a little slimmer, because without that, none of us are going to be happy growing up. It was a very difficult decision. It took me 3 to 4 years to realize that I'll have to keep him away from me for some time, or maybe some more time, so that I can give justice to my job. Because it was at that time we were going for the real construction of the 100-bedded hospital. And at a time when he was 6 years old, a decision was taken, maybe at my wish, against my wish, whatever the circumstances was, that I had to keep him with my in-laws, where I couldn't stay with him. And so from the age of maybe 8 years, he was not staying with me. Every time I used to be in the hospital taking care of a pediatric patient, I used to miss him. And every time I used to see such a patient not doing well, I used to think I am blessed to have a normal child. I'll tell you an example. In 10th standard, my son got 95%. I was very happy he got into the best of the colleges. When he gave his 12th and when he got his NEET, I come from GS Medical College, which is that number one college in India, after, you may say after AIMS. So he couldn't get into that college. He got into the number 3 college of Mumbai. And I was really upset, because me and my husband are alumni of KKM Hospital, and we wanted him to be there. But at that time I was treating a patient. If you have 2 minutes, I'll tell you the story of the patient. He was same my son's age, 18 years old, and he was a football player. He comes from very absolutely remotest part of Karnataka, somewhere near Nipani. So he was a football player, and he used to come to our hospital with his grandfather. He used to speak bare in Hindi and little of English, and his grandfather was speaking Kannada. So his whatever conversation we used to go through the patient. So he had a cancer of the leg, and he was undergoing treatment, chemotherapy. At one stage it came when we couldn't give him anything, and that stage had come that we had to do amputation of his leg. And he had my phone number. He used to be on the WhatsApp with me. And one fine day, he just stopped connecting with me on the phone, and he stopped coming to the hospital. And I was a little worried. I was connected with him because he was my son's age, and he used to WhatsApp me. Like, it was more of a friend. He was like, I was a friend to him. So one day I just sent one of my executive officer to his home to find out what's happening with him. And we met his grandfather, and his grandfather said that he doesn't stay with me. He's just gone off somewhere. We tried to find him, and one of my other patients got hold of him and asked him. He said, I'm not educated. I love to play football, and football is my life. And if my leg is going to be amputated, what will I do with my life? Why should I live? Rather than that, I would live playing football till the last day of my life. This is something which taught me that me being unhappy because my son is not getting admission in the college that I want, but still is becoming a doctor with the third best college of the country, I suddenly realized that it was like something different. And that is where I taught my child also that you have to understand what your actual goal is in life. And you just cannot, you have to understand what you're getting, what you're going to get. And there are so many other people who are not so privileged as we are. So again, it comes to what you teach your children is going to make them what they are. And this lesson really taught me. From that time, I have become a different person. I understand, as you said, clues are being given to us and you have to take them. You have to understand what life is trying to teach you. So this is what many things taught me as a patient, which I implemented in my life as a mother. I've always of the principle which I've taught my son also, that nobody is better than the other. It's very important for children of affluent families to understand that, because nowadays we are seeing that very badly. So since I come from a very normal family into a better family now, I know what the journey is and it's not so easy. So this has grounded my child, that yes, we are all same, and you should not carry it across or show it off in any way.
Wow, I like that child's
Absolutely.
story for sure. I mean,
And we didn't even insist that he should undergo amputation. We told him,
And,
live your life as you want to.
yeah, and I just have no words because here I am trying to head a movement.
Just
for
18-year-old.
mothers.
Look at his
Yeah,
maturity.
I just don't have words because this is what I'm trying to tell moms, that I know a lot of moms have gone through a lot. It happens a lot, but standing up is the only next, option that we have. Like just standing up and coming back is the only next option. And it's interesting that a camera has made me realize this. That through a camera, I'm realizing this. That moms try to avoid pictures. They try to not want to take the pictures. They want to run away. They want to hide. They want to give excuses. I keep telling all my moms that I know I'm pushing them for give me your self portraits, give me your story, and I know it's not. I whether all moms who are here agree with me, who've already been interviewed or not, it's that resistance that keeps coming to us and saying, let's do it tomorrow, let's do it day after, let's forget it. I don't think so. I've got the perfect picture. I don't think so. This is my story. I would want to put something. There is work, but just to go out and first submit is the first action to take. That we've done it, we might change it. We've done it. Here it is. It's a story, it's a this thing. And now something better has come. So we go back and we do it. These are the steps that will keep taking us ahead. And that's what I realized, that all of us deal with resistance with so many excuses. And here is this boy who is just saying, that's it, I'm not doing this, and I like that because I've had an autoimmune hit in my family as well, and I know you're from an allopathy and this thing, and I totally told my husband, no way, no steroids, nothing happening. We are going to dive into if anybody knows my story, knows that I flung from class 1 to class 10 continuously. So my ability to actually do anything amazing in terms of studies was not there. But my ability, comes again from my father, is the fact that you can do anything. You can do anything. So I dived into this health space and I found out the natural reversal, and I got into whole food plant-based. I headed a voluntary thing called Health Diaries, and I invited people and I spoke to more people. I, opened up my space to do talks and other things in Bangalore when I was there. So that thing has to be there. That no matter what you get hit with, you know how to fight it back. No, like everybody told me, are you sure you can reverse it? I'm like, absolutely. And if you come to my house, there are almost 200 books only on health. Again, clues after clues after clues, documentary, next expert, another expert. Surround yourself with people who will uplift you. And that's this movement. And I got we reversed his autoimmune. We inspired many people. He inspired many people to go back in a healthier way in his office. He became an inspiration by the time he left. Because we were standing up and we were saying, this is happening and this is going to happen. And that's the belief. And the same thing is applying into this book as well. That surround yourself with mothers who will uplift you. Surround yourself in this book to say, we're not alone. Like having a silent suffering in the corner of your room and just crying and thinking that that's it, my life is just ended here, is something that's a big sin that we are doing to this Mother Earth. Because I keep saying that the pulse of this Mother Earth is a nurturer's pulse, right? This planet will not be saved if this nurturer is in pain. And with pain of self-doubt, bad self-image, belief that we can't do it. And that's why these 100 stories need to really rise. That's my vision, that these 100 stories need to rise, because they're not 100. There are lakhs and lakhs and lakhs and so many million stories which are there. But maybe these 100 can start that little stir and say, let's start it. Let's forget about it. Forget this chatter, this constant, constant fight. Should I not? Is it okay? Am I worthy? I'm not. Did I do the right thing? Am I a good mother? I'm not. So that's the thing. It's a beautiful story, and it'll go with me in many, many interviews that you've shared it.
There's one more thing which I learned from my son. See, everybody goes through the perimenopausal phase of, feeling. But since we are working women, we don't really go through it. But it was that I was at that phase since 3-4 years ago when my son was studying for his MBBS. Then I suddenly realized the best way to stay young is study. Just try to study new things, try to get into, and there is no end to what you can learn. You can just learn whatever you want to learn. So at that time, I started my another journey. I started running marathons at the age of 42. I did my first marathon with my half marathon with my son when I was 42. I did my first 21, then I did another 21. And it was like, going through the childhood again. You play with your children when they're young. Imagine you're running with your son at the age of 21. So I'm trying to tell you that the bond between the mother and child may alter as the age changes, but it never changes. It is always there. It just you just need to uh, understand how it has changed. We see so many strained relationships between child and mother, but that relation is so pure that it can always be reversed. And at the same time, I started studying with him. In the last 3 years, I have got one MBA degree. I got a postgraduate diploma in hospital and healthcare, one postgraduate diploma in clinical research, one postgraduate diploma in medical legal science, and now with Kirtana, I'm doing this course in IIM Bangalore. So this is one thing I've realized, that after some age, the moms start getting time when their children grow up. That time space is a little free, but please utilize it that time. Don't think that everything is over now. Your jobs are over now. You have to chill out. You have to just engage yourself in activities like watch TV, which is, I'm not saying it's useless, but you please try to be young by doing things forever in your life. This is what is there. It was there in me as a child, which is still there. But you have to do something. You have to go be a getter. And life is beautiful. After some age, some of your responsibilities are over. That is the time when you start your life again and do the things that you have missed doing which you wanted to do when you were young.
Yeah.
That's like what I really feel.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that, because we make our children's success are the only target that we have in our life. The minute our children happen, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, without that support and everything, our children would be no way. Like, I'm just not stating at all that children should be left and they should be, but I find a lot of mothers, then when the children are finally left, they're like, now what do I do? Like, I'm
Yeah,
lost. There's
the emptiness
depression,
syndrome.
emptiness, there's depression, you've lost a lot of things. And that happens because we forget being in touch with ourselves. So the
Yeah.
self-work with raising children is very important. And this self-love through this camera, that's why I keep saying this camera is about loving yourself. I always say this to moms. I am like, a lot of moms say that it's just pictures, right? And I always say this in my interviews. What if I actually, and I've proven it this with my work, like anybody who's here who's been shot with my camera, and I'm very proudly, like you said, I was intelligent, I was this, I'm a beautiful photographer, and people have always got uplifted. They know that I can give them a very beautiful picture, and when I give that picture, the first thing they do is they share it, they put it up, they do everything. They don't want to hide, they want to put it. Nobody has ever torn the picture that I've given it to them, because they're looking so gorgeous. Not because I'm a great photographer, because I see that light in them. And that's the light I'm trying to bring in this book back remotely, by telling them this is how your page should be, this is how your page should be. Right in the middle of the night at 2:33, I get a picture, and I'm trying to say, yeah, you're almost there, but maybe you do this. And sometimes I edit it for them and I send it back to them. Last night I did one, and she's like, how have you edited this whole picture, and like, you've totally changed. And I said, because I'm visualizing you like this, so everybody's going to be visualized in a certain way in the book, and I hope it book comes together beautifully on time. And that's but let's just end this interview, because we have a lot of opportunities for you to meet mothers, to talk to them, to come in the book. So we will continue this chat, and it's an absolute honor to meet you today, Dr. Reshma. And what's your dream? That's how we end our interview, because this book is called 100 Self-Portraits, 100 Dreams. What is your dream?
I'm sorry, I didn't get
What is your dream?
my dream. Yes. My dream is to leave this world with a legacy where I'll be remembered for all the good things that I've done, and the footprints that I have left in the society with the work that I'm doing as a doctor, as a human being, and as a mother. That's my dream.
That's coming true by you being in this book with women across the world. So that anyway is getting honored here, and I'm totally honored that at least that dream will come true. And I know that once this dream comes true, many of your dreams are going to come true from here onwards. So welcome to this book, Dr. Reshma. It's a total pleasure to have you on board. We will hand you over to our beautiful pillars who will take you ahead and make sure that you reach the finish line without resistance. And I'm really looking forward to your story.
Thank you, Shikha.
And don't go
Awesome.
offline. We're going to go off stream. I need to thank Kirtana, and Kirtana has been there throughout chatting. Melanie is there. Francis is there. So thank you everybody for all. Swati is here as well. She's my cousin here. So thank you everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you who will show up later to comment on this. I will go off Facebook. Don't go off Zoom right now.